Hope this doesn't devolve into a bloodbath or like stuff.
Who knows?
You know, I don't know. All I know is that when you start applying for some of these grants to do some of this economic development stuff, they look at the functionality of city government. And this is definitely a no-go. You can't have this.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you do to change it. Other than just keep plugging away at it.
Yeah, well, they're gonna wear me out before they get done plugging, I tell you that.
Well, I'm not giving up. Everybody, I was really frustrated after our last conference. So I don't say it. But it's not me who.
That's what I've been asking for years.
It's not, I know you were. It's not me. I mean, a blind man can see it. Morale here is toilet. And it's, city government has to have a positive vibe. People are, I mean, when you get, whether they're right or wrong, whether you have the citizens, trust the police department.
Well, that's nothing ridiculous.
No, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
but when you have those things, it's read, there it is.
There's some money in there on the table. I'll go down to you. Since you're here, man, I will give out the other thing. It's a closed memo. I didn't want to put it out unless somebody was here. And I didn't want somebody walking around looking at your all's face. Oh, okay. But it's, the attorneys just now sent it a little bit ago.
It's the thing that we just got on your email.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm assuming that's first section. And I
Yeah.
can't breathe tonight.
And then I just sent the minutes to these ones. That. Been trying to get done because they have to do with the siren and the generator grant.
Okay,
And Mark Twain is moving the minutes.
okay. And I brought mine from last week, so.
Awesome. All right, I'll be right back.
Hey, how's it going? You know, hanging. Hello, Nancy Turner.
Nancy, who?
I don't know. I'm terrible at names.
Evans works.
Huh?
Evans.
Nancy, I don't know, I was a Nancy Turner. There's a movie star, I think, named Nancy Turner. I thought, well, maybe change your name.
is that noise? Is that somebody coming in the door or something?
Log it on.
Logging onto the stream.
3 people are there in the way.
I got 2 microphones.
You get to talk a lot tonight.
You need to be heard.
The last 2 minutes, last 2 papers she gave us are the last 2 minutes that we didn't get before. She may have tried to email them out.
She did, I read them.
Okay, I didn't get that.
Well, I mean, it was about 5 o'clock maybe.
Okay.
Find the corn, Mike? No. Nope.
Corn fighting,
Huh?
corn,
For, no, shell corn.
oh,
I saw my granddaughter had a picture at some little fall festival thing and they had some of that. So it made, I realized what you're talking about.
Yep. Well, we're just gonna do that. It'll be alright. Plenty of other stuff.
Hey, sir. Hey, good evening.
sure kill a lot of trees.
Hi, everybody. Morning, afternoon, whatever the case may be.
You're having a good Monday, huh?
Well, it's morning somewhere. Let's see. Oh. station in Europe this morning. I'm not gonna turn the phone off tonight, they're gonna call.
Okay.
Okay.
Put mine on vibrate for that reason. So I put mine on vibrate.
Well,
Same.
I don't wanna miss it. When you get as old as I am, vibration doesn't help. I'm miserable. Houston this week. Which is where I'm heading.
Oh.
I'm from here to New Orleans tomorrow, going to Jackson, Mississippi, at 3 o'clock Wednesday meeting. We fly New Orleans to Houston for luncheon on Thursday. Drive down around Victoria, Corpus Christi, Friday morning, and I suppose we'll be home Friday evening sometime. That's the plan anyway.
You get frequent flyer miles?
Yeah, I do. So. It's kind of a nice perk. It's a bunch of them. Okay. Franco.
Know if you got blue wave in there or not?
Tell you what, it was touch and go, it was
Oh,
watching it. Started to come up at coach. Say, well, let's see, we had a wedding. And, next day the thing turned right. We never saw any rain, I haven't seen rain since I went to. Wow. Didn't rain a bit, wind didn't blow.
you were right around the corner.
It was just beautiful, and that it, other than the. We were in Panama City Beach. Yeah, it is beautiful.
I mean, it.
Got a friend that had a home right in the villages, just down the street. And, went in touch. Really?
No, that's against the law now, right?
3 or 4 months in from the
Oh,
coast.
No, no, but-
See what all the damage.
no.
Worse.
I didn't do
It'll be forever. Terrible.
I flew in.
It is.
That's really perfect.
Next still. Is Nick still out of the country?
That's on the 14th.
I have.
No. I haven't heard it. I thought he'd be back by now.
No, he's on the
Oh, I
14th.
don't know, Nick. I don't know. Where'd he go?
I'm wearing one.
Ecuador, hey, well,
Take one, pass it.
You don't get to keep them all.
Maybe this all people are coming in.
There's up front. Yeah, there's a stack up front.
And, you know,
Y'all got an email on that. I took liberty.
thank you. Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be as bad as what it sounds.
It started off a lot worse than what I thought.
I might have to.
Sounds more
I
like
may have since he's not.
I haven't.
annual.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna find something regardless.
Well, everybody more, I'll throw some more over there.
Hit me. Winner. All the City of Louisiana, Missouri Committee Work Study Session in order Monday, October 10th, 2022. Call to order, pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First committee up is the infrastructure, ground, street and sidewalk committee.
All right. I had spoke with Kelly about a few things. From what I understand, the paving's done, and we come in under bid, you said?
Correct.
Kelly said we actually come in about 10,000 under bid, so that's a good thing. Aside of that, did we have any chance to find anything out on like the road signs or center striping or anything we were gonna look into?
So that has been sent. I thought I copied all of the council. I sent the request from county on that, and I have heard nothing back from them at this time, but I think that they have to do some more things or they're gonna be able to give us an answer.
Gotcha.
Did we provide them any type of quotes or cost estimations?
Not on the striking, but on pedestrian walkway, possible bridge we did. The quote's a little old. They're supposed to be getting back with me at some point.
Did we do the same for guardrails?
We did not for guardrails out there, but I do believe that I mentioned in the email that we could possibly be looking. Now, that being said, on the, we'll call it the south side of Georgia Street right there, I guess they got wiped out over the weekend. Those fence posts, so we are kind of looking at maybe trying to do some guardrail in there ourselves. On that side, if we can get in a lot of utilities right there condensed. If we can get some posts in between, then we can.
Just to get something in there. For sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, we put.
Rated. Guardrail, right?
Yeah,
As long as we can, like I said, as long as we can. Drive a post will be all right.
what's the possibility? There may not be enough footing there to a concrete barrier there, is there?
I think it'd be pretty tough because you just don't have much room, especially on that south side between it
Your
and
best
the
bet,
other, unless you take up some road width to do it. And I don't know that that's.
without looking at it, I bet your best. Something driven. Pile type of thing, because otherwise you're excavating off the side of the embankment.
Yeah.
Even if you got concrete, it'd be totally expensive to repair somebody.
Smoked it.
Smoke their head on or something.
Well, that's
Yeah.
pretty good drop off there, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. We had a lady fall in there a couple of years ago. Town branch, that guardrail looks nice. That pretty
This street.
down on Fourth.
Fifth.
Yeah,
Fifth.
yeah.
Street.
Different Tennessee.
Is that pretty? I mean, sturdy?
I mean, I wouldn't wanna run a 2-ton truck through it or anything, but it
Well, they have
may help on
garbage
the
truck,
car.
that's what started it.
A lot of compliments on the repaving though, for a lot of compliments there.
That's what he's talking about, right?
So, kind of while we're on that, I want everybody to know that I've contacted MoDOT on their paving on Third Street. Worked with them for a long time, prepping for that job. And they assured me that it was a mill and fill and that we would need no risers for our manholes or our valves.
Yeah.
Well, I think anybody that's driven across one of those says that's not right. So we're in contact with them about that. Also, there's an area up on around B Street that myself and a couple citizens are not real happy with the transition. So,
Yeah, I've got a whole neighborhood that has noise issues with. The amount of noise trucks and stuff make one over there. There's not one manhole.
When your house, Dart's house, I guess,
Yeah,
there's some sort of a, somehow an offset for the truck to sit it right.
and it's
Yeah,
all day and all night.
this intersection right out here where the and absolutely horrid.
yeah.
I got a question, I don't know whether it's in the committee or not, but murals, where they fall.
Question, I don't know.
So it's my understanding, and anyone that knows more, I mean, I'm not saying I know, but my understanding is that's as done through private civic groups. And they raise funds, and I forget the gentleman's name that kind of spearheaded that and kind of let that,
Ed Pennington.
yeah. So that's really just kind of fallen off the wayside. Everyone that signed up for that back in the day, kind of agreed to maintain and preserve the murals. And I think with change of ownerships and everything just lost contact with.
Where I'm going with it is I've had like 3 different calls, wanting to know, why they're not being maintained and all that. If they're not gonna be maintained, then we no longer need to be mural city. Come on, signs.
That was established by Ed Pennington. And they collected and they found people that would let them put the bill on their building. And those people would pay a portion of. And the original program was that through new murals, as they kept going, they would maintain them. That, and there was a special sealer that they used on them. And after they got 13 or 14 or 15 of them done, they didn't do any more. And then a year later, they gave check back to all of the people that sponsored a mural. And that check was to help them seal it on their own down the road. And maybe I can tell anything about it, but it's kind of a shame they're getting kind of bad. I mean,
I know Community Betterment and a few other organizations are trying to figure something out with either repairing them, replacing them, sealing them, something like that. It's just about getting the volunteers and the workers to get it done.
money, volunteers,
That-
money, volunteers.
Well, some of those, Bobby,
But I mean, it's something that they're working on.
sold or moved.
Yeah, buildings have changed hands and different people are involved and they don't know what it was like back then and it's kind of a shame. It was a great idea, but in 100 years, it was breaking paint off and saying, what's this?
I think one of the worst ones is the clinic down there, and I talked to Dr. Onig about that one.
That was pretty.
Mhm.
Yeah, that, I don't know if that can be repaired. I talked to Clark Stein, there's the product that they put over the top of them is like $100 a gallon.
That's a sealer.
And, as, if anybody comes up with money to do it, he'd be willing to do it for them. But it's just,
The most recent repair that I'm aware of was at the Trimble House when they did the block repair. I don't know who did the painting and sealed it, but we might be able to figure out who did that. Get the word out.
Eloise, what's his name? Ron, very involved with that, and I talked to him in the past about, who all was on that committee and how all of that worked.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Do you want me to ask about that Delaware Bridge? Did you have any luck with anything with the Delaware Bridge down with Aspen?
Maryland,
Is it Maryland, not Delaware?
Maryland Street Bridge.
No, it's Delaware. The one that I love and
Yeah.
isn't that Delaware?
It is.
And I thought, somebody told me that they were going to put a different bridge in there
That's-
for weight.
That's at Maryland Street. It's at Maryland Street.
No, that's down there by Isola.
Yeah. That's where they're gonna do the bridge. The county's gonna do it through the road program. And I was told over the weekend that that's on schedule for next year.
Oh, okay. Well, the Delaware wasn't, what's that logging company gonna do down there then if they can't haul their logs there?
That'll cross that Maryland Street Bridge anyhow.
Huh?
That'll cross that Maryland Street Bridge anyhow, the logging.
No, they can't get across.
Doesn't bother them, it's next year.
No, I'm asking, what's bothering is that we have streets delegated for big heavy trucks like logging trucks go to use. And they're not using them because they don't have access on one side. And they're not obeying, or they probably don't know about having to use 7th Street. 7th Street is paid for heavy trucks. That was Carl Dewey. Carl Dewey had his logging trucks that came up through there.
We got a bridge on Delaware that's in bad shape.
And now they're using the citizens.
That's
They
one
do
Maryland.
use it.
The old bridge with the little superstructure there that you can't do.
That's, yeah,
That's the one that's getting
skewed.
But is there one on Delaware that's in bad shape?
Weight restriction.
Almost have gotten the wrong information. Somebody said they were gonna put a heavier bridge in there.
Yeah, I think they cut their streets 2 blocks
The one
off.
on Delaware is
You
down there
know, the
by,
logging trucks aren't gonna use that Maryland.
the one on Delaware is down there where Love's used, they're.
So,
Caterpillar.
You know, Don, to help you, I think you're struggling with this a little bit. There's certain bridges that rate, they have to be big enough, there's a number of criteria they have to hit before they can rate for like the road program with the county. Ones down in Delaware, I don't think, in fact, I'm sure that they do not, they're not large enough to do that. So if that's something that needed to be done, we would have to look at.
Okay, well, that ain't, but it looks like, to me, it would be with the Loves down there with their heavy equipment and with the now that.
But the way the structure is, probably help me whatever you want to do here, but
Yeah, the BRO program, through. And it's administered through the counties. And it's been probably 15 years now, but I know the Delaware Street or Maryland Street Bridge. I believe the bridge on Georgia is also on the list, the BRO list, underneath,
Fifth Street,
the main
down
town.
Tennessee.
I don't know if there was any, I think those were the only two in Louisiana that were on the overall eligibility list for the BRO replacement program. So any of the others would be,
Bridge on Garden Street there, probably pretty stout, it was.
I've been up underneath there.
Could we sometime in the future look into that for Delaware? So that is an industrial area down there and a lot of heavy equipment down there.
Right.
Now, the bridge that they'll build in there on Maryland is, I mean, it's, unless there's, well, that won't get a waiver, it'll be 24 feet wide. But
If I had a logging truck and if I had, cranes and so forth, I would not want to come off of that hill or go up the hill.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not feasible, I think.
Right.
Of course, that shows what I know. Nothing.
Aside of that, I don't look at everything else.
Okay. All right, Public Safety and Police Hiring Committee.
Chief's here, he's got a couple of things he wants to mention. They're looking at, hiring another individual, been interviewed and, paperwork gone through. Follow up with, employees, employers. Chief will get into that. Police cars, we'll have them operational probably within 2 weeks. Working now on, that. Chief will also, get into that with more information. Public safety, the water letter we got from DNR is not involve us. I think that's probably it, what we have as far as hiring a new employee and the police cars for right now.
Okay.
So, do we get into that now? You want to-
No, so the hiring and stuff, we can go in closed session, but what I can talk about, or what we can talk about is kind of the process that we talked previously about following. I just wanted the police committee to be aware that they can convene on their own without the council of the whole. And y'all can actually call closed sessions on your own, as long as it's noticed. And the process, is just following a set established process that you all come up with. Right. And there's 4 of you that's on that committee, and that's the only thing I ask, is that the committee does their due diligence and follow a process and make the recommendations. I would love to see a hiring list of all eligible, if there's more than one that's eligible. Just to.
That as a informational meeting, that's what a committee meeting is. We can give you information of what is in the process and cooker, and we're automatically doing, which doesn't require council approval or anything. So I'd like the chief to fill in on where we're at on cars and hiring, and that way you'll know, and you won't be caught blindsided, or, at the next meeting. So, chief, is there anything you want
Just with the vehicles, when we had the hiccup on the 2 SUVs, the equipment,
to understand, though, please?
Yeah. we had the hiccup with the 2 vehicles on the SUVs. We got kicked to the bottom of the list for installations. That put us back in getting the vehicles on the road. They advised that if they have a cancellation, that we could move to the top of the list. They had other departments that were waiting longer, that had their vehicles already there waiting to be processed. When our situation happened, we got moved to the bottom. So there's nothing we can do about that. The equipment is universal, it's purchased by the installers, and then it gets invoiced out to us on the equipment that we put in the vehicle. So when I say our equipment's there, it's the equipment that we requested they purchased to be invoiced back. We don't buy it directly. That being said, the administrative white van that everybody talked about a month ago, it is traditionally not a police vehicle. So therefore, the wiring harness doesn't come pre-wired to do plug and play devices for emergency equipment. The emergency equipment that we wanted to put in it as a support vehicle, River City Towing was basically contacted the manufacturer and was having the harnesses made. And my understanding from talking to Johnny was that 3 of them has been made and none of them are successful. So spoke with him, modified what our plans were. The equipment that was going in that vehicle was pre-existing equipment that we already had at the department. For lack of better terminology, we were gonna light it up like a Christmas tree, even though it was a support vehicle. We're gonna go now with a less extravagant lighting system, because the lighting system that we had ran off of like UVs and fiber optics. And that's where the problem was. So Johnny is still working on, we're just gonna put a red and blue in the front, and a red and blue in the back. That will suffice. The speaker system, meaning the siren itself, he's already got it hooked up. The radio system's already in the van. And it's just a matter of putting the antennas in now. Hopefully, when we get them devices that he's needing, the lighting system. We got a couple of older lights that are upstairs that I think will suffice, or we won't have to buy any kind of equipment. So that is still our plan, and the goal is still to get that vehicle in the fleet at the cheapest possible cost. And then again, that vehicle's primary responsibility will be, as it was originally stated, as a support vehicle. It's the vehicle that will be used to officers to take to court. That way, of course, we don't have to do the car that is taking to classes, training, things of that nature. Back up, let's say you are doing a search warrant, you have 50 items that will fit the car. The cargo area that they will be utilized to be transported back from the vehicle. But it was never designed or intended for patrol.
Is the cost going to be approximately the same to equip it? I may have missed that in your.
It overall will actually be less, and it's not because of the cost of the equipment. The equipment itself would have never really cost us anything, because we already own the equipment. It was the equipment that came out of other vehicles.
It'd be less than 5,000.
Significantly less. I believe the 2 lighting systems that we have upstairs that is already ours will be able to suffice for that. So would it be a push, no cost to us? We'll actually save money across the board doing it this way, because the installation of the equipment. So, and this is guesstimates off the top of my head, just for, for purpose of discussion. Let's say it was like 30 hours to put it in the way that we were going to do it. It'd be like 5 hours now. So we will get out 25 hours worth of not having to pay for that labor of installation. So overall, it actually be cheap.
So, Chief, and also the police committee and this council, this is officially the first mention of the ban to this body.
Incorrect, sir. Done that before.
When was this?
5 or 6 months ago, I'd have to go back and pull it.
After the auction, we were told they obtained it.
You had in the council meetings? Because I've seen no minutes of it, and I've never missed a meeting, I haven't heard it. But officially, council did not approve, acquiring this vehicle. It's not on the record nonetheless.
So
All I'm wanting to do, Chief, is whenever we do these things, and it's part of that communication process with the council, you may have spoken with individuals about this, but as a body, a decision has to be made, and I'm not objecting to it, but I'm a real firm believer in following process. So the big thing is, I'm asking the police committee and this council to tie in with you, and let's put it in some sort of a motion with the council authorizing this to do this. I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong or by any means, but it's kind of like getting the cart ahead of the horse a little bit, the way I look at things. And I have reviewed the minutes, and I haven't seen anything.
It won't be in minutes. Discussions like this won't be in minutes.
And that's my point. The council as a body has to authorize this. It's gonna be titled, right?
If they're gonna
It
spend,
will be top.
they're gonna spend $200 to fix this van up to use it. And it's in their budget. I don't know that has to be
That's not my point, Councilman. My point is, we have to sign off with the state of Missouri on titling this equipment that requires the authorization of this council to approve that.
Sir, can I interject there for a minute? And maybe I'm wrong in this misunderstanding is that Mr. Henderson, as the city manager or city administrator, whatever terminology you'd like to use, is considered the fiduciary equipment of the city. The predominant, that conversation was had with him and the information because it was city equipment. And it was my understanding that's what the city body, meaning the council, even elected to do. So a lot of the conversations that we have on like equipment, things of the nature that are needed. Myself and Kelly have sat down for it. We have discussions on it. Like, let's take, for example, if we're trying to do EAC equipment, if we're trying to do something of that stuff that is day-to-day operational stuff. Per se on most of the equipment that we have mostly predominantly with Mr. Henderson.
And
then-
Chief, I don't need to, I understand the concept of equipment and equipping it, but this van wasn't our equipment. This was obtained from an auction, right?
Yes and no.
And
What happened?
it was not titled in our name, that has to be titled in the city's name, correct?
Correct, which would be Mr. Henderson.
It would require the action of this body, and do we have our city attorney online right now?
Well,
I
we
can see
discussed that with them too, and that was my understanding with it. But what?
So my whole point is just following process.
I don't have a problem with process, I just need. to know
And there's a
the
reason why city administrator didn't sign off on the PD vehicles when they were delivered, because it wasn't authorized by this council at that time. It's the same concept with this van, even though we acquired it through the auction, right? So,
Well, yes and no. Yes and no, that's where the misnomer is a little bit done. For example, what happens is with equipment that is not claimed. The city becomes the sole proprietor of that equipment based upon a notification letter. The minute they become the sole proprietor of that equipment, meaning the individuals don't pick it up, they, for lack of a better word, Lindy and Greg can correct me on this. It's considered basically abandoned to the property of the city. When it becomes property of the city, the fiduciary of the city is over the property of the city. That's why we communicated so closely with Mr. Henderson, because he is the fiduciary. And before, for example, if we just sold the vehicle instead of claiming the vehicle for use, which we do have the right to do, then we didn't come to the council and say, okay, we got 32 vehicles we're going to sell, because they became that as the city ran that through Mr. Henderson's office.
I think the argument here is a legal one of whether the council has to approve that to be titled in the city of Louisiana name. I think that's all that we're at right now.
Yeah.
I was never aware of that, and it may be something that may definitely be there. And I think that's a legal question.
It sounds to me we're getting too many hands doing too many things, and we ought to get it centralized. And it's a little enough process.
Well, I'd say we bring up next council meeting and introduction order
And-
prior to then.
and Chief, you get
Talk
with
about it then.
get with the police board
Sounds like we got.
and get things just lined up. That's all it is,
Yeah, no,
checking boxes.
Right, totally. With the police vehicles that are outside, I think where the biggest snafu come at them were light vehicles that we could no longer get, meaning the Chargers, were already budgeted items that were for purchase, which I would assume the city council approved the budget if they had money set aside for 2 police. Come back and say, hey, we would like 2 police vehicles that the budget already is allowing us to pay. So I mean, it's an easy process. I mean, we could come back with anything like that and be like, hey, you guys did this in the budget already, but we would still like to formally purchase these vehicles. That's not a problem.
I'd say next council meeting, just come back on it deeply.
Well, can we just
On
have
the
the
owners
regular
of the
meeting?
van.
Have them here.
Yeah, so they've given a response about the auction vehicles and saying that it requires the city seal to be placed on those bill of sales. And that has to require authorization by this council to do that, have our city clerk or whoever's able to apply the.
It's never been done before.
I'm going by what our city attorneys stated in their memo about it, so. That's the big thing.
Understandable. The next auction that is had, we will make sure that's brought to the city. We'll have a list of the vehicles while they will, the reason for them not being picked up, meaning the original, why they were towed or impounded or whatever we're going to use for it. And then we'll have an informational spreadsheet on Excel. It just gives the general concept of what it is. And that way everybody know make, model, year, mileage, things of that nature, that what we're doing with it. That's, we actually do that anyway. It's just a matter of giving the documentation to the city council. It's an extremely easy step that we'll make sure happens next time.
Other than that, I have nothing.
Okay.
Okay, can I address the police?
What is it all about the police department?
Well, I mean, it has to do with me being I can address this openly, right? In a work session.
Well, if you're doing it for the animal control position, you're the committee
I don't
chairman.
mind if he's here and wants to talk.
So, I mean, I don't have, because, we have only had basically one successful meeting, with the animal control board or whatever, and, unfortunate that, neither one of our liaisons to the council was available to be there, so I need to bring some things to you guys. One, our committee, is wishing to, find a way to have some kind of a paid position at the shelter to take care of the dogs. I cannot be there enough now to do that. The other is that I don't have, and it just came to, to be where I needed to. I don't have a way or the know-how even to write citations to somebody. I was supposed to be getting a ticket book, I was told, I don't have that. We just got a really pretty bad case of animal neglect, if you ask me. And so, I'm working with the police officer that did write some similar citations, or, some citations to these people. And we're gonna get that taken care of, I believe. But I'm just saying, there are a few issues. And I also want to apologize to you all and the chief for not letting somebody know that we were gonna be doing a bunch of work at the shelter and needing, because it should have only taken a couple of days due to hardships on my part. No longer, I was not able to get out there and finish that. So that's all I have. I just wanted to. Thank you.
Bob, if I could address a portion of that. Okay. As for citations being issued, take a look. What it is, previously with the animal control officers, they worked closely with the police department, and if they wanted the citation issue, they would advise the officer. The officer base their merit upon the statement or written statement that was given to them by the ACO, the animal control officer. What, for you to issue the tickets that we do, you can't do. And the reason being is that ours indicate that you're a certified law enforcement officer is the ones set out by the state highway patrol format through the Missouri Supreme Court. What happens usually in municipalities, you have what they call municipal tickets. They're sort of like, for lack of a concept, they're sort of like a parking ticket. You don't have to be a cop issue parking ticket. The terminology on the ticket's a little bit different. And you don't certify that you're an officer, it says you're a representative for the city of Louisiana and you are employed in a position they can write an ordinance violation. That's normally how that would happen. Also in the upper right-hand corner for the officer citations that a regular police officer issues on a traffic stop or on a criminal violation, there's a numeric code in the upper right-hand corner that is generated by the Missouri State Highway Patrol, and that number is generated to us, and it is tracked by the courts at every level. You're required to keep that information on file. You're required to keep that number. You're required to report where that number goes. You're required to have the documentation for it. If the city council or you, I guess, as the animal control officer, I don't know how to say it in this situation. If you would like to get citations for yourself, basically all you do is you contact the publication company that does citations, you tell them what you want on that. They give us an in-house number, it'd be like 001 just for tracking purposes. And you could buy 200 of them and keep your books, and it doesn't fall under the same requirements as that uniform complaint and summons. When they call them, you know, MOOCs, Missouri Uniform Complaint and Summons. I mean, it's just an acronym per se. And what it just says is that those numbers are generated by the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Those numbers are tracked by the court system. Those numbers you have to certify in certain ways. For an animal violation, it doesn't have to be done. It just has something that the court does.
We will, why don't we, get together, talk about it, get with you, double check with Kelly, Mary, whoever we need to talk to. We need a packet of citations printed up with our own number on it. Those funds and those fees are paid here at City Hall when they come in, I guess, as far as getting animals out or getting. I don't think it's anything we gotta worry about with the county courts and all that.
Well, for county court wise, it would be the exact same thing. The court fines and the court costs are associated by the circuit that is voted on by them per se and approved. So let's say one of these in-house Louisiana tickets were to go to court, they would still collect their money.
Well, all of them would go to.
Yeah. Right.
So let's talk about it and come up with a process on it.
I think that's a good idea. He's asking help. That's what it's asking.
Bob, we do have some of the older ones that were used years and years ago, still upstairs. I'd say we could probably utilize them. I can talk to Mary Weston to make sure it's, for sure that's our city prosecutor. But like I said, it's basically vacation, because it's really not even a summons. If somebody doesn't appear, you would have to go to Miss Weston. Miss Weston would have to probably give them a letter.
Would you look that up?
Yes.
And if you do, get with this young man
Yes, sir.
and even show him what's gotta be on it and how to do it. And
Yes,
see to it that it's getting done properly.
yes.
And then I'm sure that's in multiple copies when you write it.
They have carbon copies.
And let him know where to turn him in, and then he can turn him into you.
Right.
Up to you.
It would basically, it would be sort of like if Mr. Windmiller wrote a ticket, it doesn't necessarily go through the police department. All we do is maintain the records because of the numbers on it. We would do the same thing for animal control.
Yeah, talk to him about it,
Okay.
get that lined out.
Just a proposal to, maybe to help make a wage for somebody to do that out there. We need, I believe that we need to raise the fine for dog at large. It needs to be something that's, more substantial to, more way people to keep control of their animals.
We don't set that
Okay.
for us.
Jump in on that one also. Just a few years back, the Supreme Court put out a standardized fine schedule. Most city ordinances, and I'm not saying dog at large is on there, but most city ordinances give the maximum amount that you can charge for it. So we just have to make sure that it was within that spectrum. We have that information. I'll be happy to share it, and then you can present it to public safety.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
All right. Ordinance committee.
Nick's not here, so we've got nothing on in front of us.
So I did hand out something that I wanted the ordinance committee to maybe present, and maybe it can be done numerous ways. It'd be done by resolution, it'd be done by ordinance, or it can possibly be done just simple minutes. It's if I can find my copy, I help.
You want next?
I got it. Thank you. Thank you. So I don't know if the council had an opportunity to go over the rules of the forum for meetings. But just need to establish some guidelines, and we partially have some of this in our current ordinances. However, this is more detailed, and I don't know if y'all had an opportunity to review any of this. There are about 3 changes that I've came across. One is, and if I can find it, but anyway, there is under here talking about using the word criticism of the council, changing that with concerns to the council. Just try and get rid of some of the negative verbiage and just express that. The other thing was maybe in here to actually supply complaint forms in the back of the room. So people, if they haven't filed a complaint or done a complaint, there they are in the back of the room, you can fill out a complaint. And another thing is if we agree on establishing rules of decorum for the meeting, we can probably enlarge this and post it outside the door so people can understand what the rules are for our meetings. So I'll open up to y'all. I don't know if you had an opportunity to review this or not.
This was, you had emailed this. It changed, it didn't look like you really changed anything when you emailed it.
No, there's no changes. There's 3 things. Complaint forms, changing the word criticism to concerned, and maybe include having it posted outside of the room here.
That's me. I don't know if it's something that we, it's kind of like we're setting some rules of operation for our meetings. I think maybe our legal could correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think I have resolution would be sufficient. I don't know that we.
We reach out to Lindy, but I agree. I think a resolution would work. It's just one of those things.
Sorry, I'm on.
One of those things, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years down the road, that may be forgotten about, but if we post it outside these walls, it shouldn't be forgotten.
Gonna be more room for wiggle room
with resolution,
resolution rather than
ordinance.
Yeah.
If we see
My
something.
only, oh, sorry. My only comment, Mayor, was that since you guys already have a portion of this codified, we would just want to make sure that we might need to tweak the ordinance as well as adopt the resolution just to make sure everything's consistent in all places. But I certainly don't think it's a bad idea. I might have a few more detailed comments too that I can pass around to you guys before the next meeting.
And remind me, Lindy, did I forward you a copy of this as well?
Yes, you did. And I took note of the changes that you just mentioned. So I will make those in my review.
Okay. That's all I had for the ordinance committee, unless y'all had any questions or other issues. All right. Economic Development and Tourism Committee.
Nothing real big going on except for with economic development, tourism, we've just got something up right at this moment. We're looking for anybody who wants to help clean up downtown. Happy to have that.
Yeah, so I see that a few people posted about October the 12th doing a cleanup downtown. And that Facebook and social media has been posting that. I believe the Restore Louisiana kind of initiated that type of a response to further cleanup. The Missouri Department of Conservation grant, received no news, so no news is good news. I tried reaching out today, but it's Columbus Day, so all the state offices were closed. Housing, health, senior services. All right, enterprise, public utilities.
Couple things before we kind of talk about the letter, any update on our project, Kelly?
Last I heard, it sounded like that, they were gonna try to mobilize in here at, the end of October.
And I think we all got a copy, came in Friday afternoon of the inspection letter.
Sanitary survey.
Sanitary survey. Why don't you just give a little background on what that is?
So it's something that DNR performs every year to every 2 years. And they come in, it's basically an audit of procedures. With this one, that's why you guys haven't seen anything. There are some items on there that they are incorrect with. They've made some mistakes. Where it's at, usually what happens is they send one out. We send a rebuttal letter saying, you know, this is not so, this is not so. And then they refine it and send something back, and then we talk about it from there.
Well, as you go through the process of working through the weeds on that, just keep us informed. I will tell everybody that I happened to go up and look at our foundation underneath our Star Hill water tank, Kelly and Dale today, and when I read the letter, the first thing I saw was a statement stating how our, I call it a varmint screen, the screen on the overflow pipe was loose and hanging and not protecting the water. Well, that's the first one I read, and it was incorrect. The screen is attached firmly. There's a screen and then a flapper valve, or not a valve, a flapper that comes down over it. And the flapper was, I mean, it's not meant to be a water pipe, but it was a little bit loose, but the screen itself is fine. So
The guys corrected that, I believe.
did they?
I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but it is an easy fix regardless.
But a lot of them are going to be easy, like Kelly said. Are you know, there to begin with, but I assume as we go through it, just keep us updated, make sure we hit all the deadlines that we're applying. They like to take 6 months to issue a letter and give you 30 days to respond, so they're shorter.
One of the things, 2 or 3 of the things that I've looked at and saw, which I believe were incorrect, was no SOPs, no emergency plan, and no spill plan. So I believe we do have that. And I don't know if it's just communications or training with personnel or whatever the situation may be. You know, I know I spoke with Kelly about it, and we do have that. That's an easy fix. One of the concerns I have, and it may not be, I know it's not a requirement, but I believe whoever's working in our water treatment facilities, this is just my personal opinion, it's not a legal requirement, but they should obtain their license. We should push and train them to obtain their license to actually acquire their.
We do, but some can't obtain the license until they've worked there so long.
Right.
To be able to do that. So that, you know, it's almost like an apprenticeship. They have to be in that so long and they work under other people's licenses. And then once they get enough time in, they're able to actually hold the operator's license.
The operator, the job training.
Is that usually like a 6-month deal?
There's a lot of criteria, and I don't have it in front of me right now, but that can be, it could be 6 months, it could be years. They give credit, you know, for high school diploma, they give some credit for college degree. They get some credit if they work maybe in other areas of like area, and they determine once they send it in, you almost send in a resume. And then they determine how long you have to work before you are eligible for a license. So, and I believe that we only have one there now that doesn't hold the license. He's working under the other operator's license, but he should about be in a position to where he can hold that.
But it's a process they're aware of, and they can move it up or.
No, that's correct. That's correct.
City encourages.
It's not a violation or anything like that. It's just, I mean, any education, training, and certifications, I think.
I agree.
What do they recommend, the B license?
So our water plant's
A,
now they were talking about doing some revisions on that. I don't mean, you know, get you in the weeds. So at some point we might accidentally move to a B, but right now it's A.
And not to get in the weeds either, but the lime softening plant, is that something we used to do that we upgraded and don't do anymore? Is that what they're talking about?
All right, Community and Employee Relations Committee.
I don't have anything off the top of you.
No, I sure don't.
I have an employee I'd like to recognize.
Okay.
I'd like to do something for memory. She's been through a lot through all this council stuff, and she does an outstanding job taking a beating day after day from the public and everything else. I think she needs some recognition for doing an outstanding job, keeping up with everything that's demanded of her as a city clerk, pretty much a secretary, and still getting everything done in a timely manner. I mean,
Sometimes I admit I have issues.
but she still gets the job done.
I'm not perfect.
I mean, she's got what,
Pretty close though.
8 of us council members, plus 2 more, plus the chief, always asking, hey, can you do, can you do, can you do? And she does. So I'd really like to thank her for everything she does.
Okay.
Get with me on something, we'll discuss some things.
So for council awareness, you know, I think it would fall underneath this as well. Saturday at 3 o'clock, they're dedicating up at the Henderson Park, the observation, doing a ribbon cutting, I believe.
The Liddy family, yeah.
Yep. Also tomorrow at 2 o'clock, if any of y'all are available, I was invited to go down to Parksville for a ribbon cutting for their new water tower. So they sent a nice formal invitation, so if anyone wants to go down, I believe that's 2 o'clock, and then there's other various emails that y'all received. We haven't made those public, maybe
I have not put them on Facebook or anything. I was kind of hoping that everybody else could spread the word. You know, that's why I sent it out. That way any person, they want to do something with it or whatever, that's fine. But if you want me to put it on there, it's set and ready just to pop on there.
it probably would be a good idea. That way it all gets put out at the same time. It's a public open invitations. We've had requests from various organizations to make public. So spread the word, and we can do that ourselves too, if you're on social media or word of mouth. But all right, budget and finance. I've asked Guy Crouch to draft a kind of a state of the state for our city finances. I haven't received that yet. And I've also asked him to, besides the warrants for enterprise and for the city budget, provide a monthly status of our line items for each of our accounts. It's basically, all right, where are we at percentage wise compared to last year this time? You know, per line item, just a brief summary where we're at, if we're on track or are we behind on something. The big thing is on the revenue side of it, is if we're on track with our revenues, because that'll help us plan down the road if we see some shortfalls. But it also will show us what our expenditures are as well. We used to get those, but it shouldn't be anything long and drawn out.
I was gone last meeting, but was it ever brought up or mentioned or like his salary, like 1,200 a week or something? Was that brought up with you?
There is an email chain, and it wasn't brought up at a meeting, but there is an email chain, and our city attorneys kind of addressed it. I addressed it. You know, all that was already established. And I suggested if there was anything that he was requesting that he submitted in writing and bring to this body.
But isn't that what he's making, $1,200 a week?
No, he's not.
Isn't that what he came in and requested he wanted, or how much is he
No.
making?
No, he makes what our previous treasurer makes on an hourly basis. So no, that, I don't know on the communication side of that, but that was never presented to this body. It may have been a discussion that the city
But it's
administrator.
not in everything. So we still hired an assistant to help him.
Well, we did, but the assistant never has really got there because of short staffing within the water office, so.
We can get in it later. I-
Yep.
So anyway, that's why I asked, Guy to provide the body for our next regular council meeting. He should be giving us a summary of our status for the month compared to last year, and then he'll provide the warrants and stuff. And then once, he provides kind of state of the state of what our finances are, because it's a different set of eyes, you know, so we'll see what his view is on everything. Miscellaneous business?
Yeah,
Wait, I got the,
I'm sorry.
oh, I'm sorry,
No, you go first, you're on the council.
budget.
Yep.
Lawyers, forgive me. But I think, Mr. Mayor, you and the city administrator should be watching the budget a little closer concerning our lawyer fees. Not the fees, but the costs. The month of August. Let's have no reflection, you're the recipient of it. Cost us $16,544 and some cents for lawyer fees for the month of September, August. For the month of September, it cost us over $8,000. At this rate, what will it be for the total year? If we spent something like $115,000 last year, what in the world is it going to be now? Rodney, I have no idea what the city council lawyer is going to cost us, and I don't think you do either. I think it's too early to know where we're coming with that. But we're having that, you know, pretty soon with the fees, pretty soon that consumes the budget. And I think that we need to have a person or two people, which would be the mayor and the city administrator, to okay any calls to our city attorneys. Otherwise, how can we keep a handle on what is happening? Now, just in 2 months, we're looking at $24,000, almost $25,000. What would it be for 12 months? And I think that is our responsibility, but the two people that have the most to do with the budget is the mayor and the city administrator. So I think that we should look at them to come up with who has the authority to call the lawyer, why, and let's have a list of it. Oh, Bill, have you ever called the lawyer?
I was.
Nancy, have you ever called the lawyer?
That's
One, have you ever called?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't ask how many times. And I'm sure not gonna ask Nick how many times. And Rodney, have you called?
Well, we communicated, by email, certainly, you know.
We've had multiple things where things need to be addressed individually about certain topics are all subjects.
I'm
I'm assuming that the mayor has called, quite a bit, and, Kelly, you surely have called too. Bobby, have you called?
No, sir.
Ryan, have you called?
I've talked to him once.
One. I have not called, I wouldn't even know the telephone number. I think we have to be prudent, on our spending. Now, I have a lawyer. But I wouldn't authorize any of you to use it.
A little bit.
No, I ain't a little bit. Well, I think the point is made that that with the expenses that we've got to be a little more prudent in how we're handling our business. Sorry.
John?
Yeah, I just wanna. About to stand up or?
Fine.
Okay, I just wanted to remind you all, I distributed that piece a week or so ago, last meeting or whatever, and I hope everybody had a chance to take a look at it. A lot of work went into that, and not a end all to be all, but at least it starts the conversation. We gotta be positive about this because the clock is ticking. Okay, the clock is ticking. And we have to be positive about getting moving forward on economic development, even if it's just baby step at this point. Tim, and you all voted to appoint me to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Well, the commission last time voted me to be the chairman. And there are some things in the community plan that specifically ask P and Z to get involved in some economic development planning issues. I'm hoping we can start using that body to start exploring some of this stuff within the purview of the community plan, not overstepping the bounds of the community plan, within the guidelines of the community plan. So I get, all I wanted to say was, I issued that as a challenge, and if anybody on the council has brought it, get questions or comments or whatever, I'm more than happy to sit down with anybody and talk about it and see if we can start moving some of this stuff forward. We need to start doing that.
I personally, I'm sorry.
No, go right ahead.
I personally commend you for the work that you did on your committee and you did on.
I did that personally as a private citizen.
And it was a good report.
Thank you.
I read it in totality and it certainly is something that we shouldn't ignore.
I read it myself, when I got freed up on Sunday. I'm kind of curious because of the common sense standpoint of harnessing the agriculture because we're surrounded by it. I think that would be good, and how to go about that. It's nice to have someone with a little bit of guidance that may have an idea of how to get the ball.
I got plenty of ideas.
Well, if no one who reach out to, how to potentially get things going to where it could generate more jobs, where it could, we're surrounded by agriculture. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Just figuring out the cans and can'ts that we can't do and what would make sense.
Yeah, you need to have somebody that can direct it, kind of tie the ends together and give us some guidance. I mean, right now, there are a lot of, as I've said over and over again, there are a lot of really well-meaning people out there trying to do things, but there has to be focus, there has to be priorities set, there has to be all of it. And it takes time and it needs directions. And I was hoping maybe the report would at least start laying the groundwork for some of that, because what we're doing now ain't working. And I don't mean that as an insult or a negative thing, but we've got to start thinking outside the box a little bit and creating win-win situations down, so we can create jobs and we can, why don't people stay here? Because there's no jobs, there's nothing here for to keep young people here. And those are the things you have to address. The other stuff is nice, cleaning up the riverfront is great and it should be a priority. But unless we can find ways to keep industry here, and agriculture would be a big one as far as how we're making the decisions.
That would be my focus. Because there's a lot that can be done there, but it's more than that.
It's a lot.
And as the report outlined, I mean, there's a lot that has to happen. But, you know, the clock's ticking. And I just want to throw that, hopefully everybody had a chance to read it. If you have any questions or anything, you can contact me, or
Have you reached out to Diana Huckstep at all about any of it?
I hadn't talked to Diana in a while. Like I said, I took this on as a private citizen. Because I saw a problem and I'm a problem solver.
I mean, she's our economic development director.
Is she officially the economic development director? That's not my understanding.
We started the economic office of economic development in 2007.
Okay,
And we contacted over 30 businesses during that time. Big businesses, small, in between and so forth. And those that wrote us back or called us and so forth, gave us almost the same answer, that they were only interested in communities of 15,000 to 20,000 with the drawing card of 200,000 and a 50-mile radius. Well, we don't quite have that. That was at that time.
yeah,
And so we reached out with the internet for small businesses and to come in. And that was the way that we got some things going.
as far as your question about Diana, I have talked to her about some of these issues. We agreed to disagree on some things, and I'll leave it at that, because I'm not gonna talk about a personal conversation on a public forum. Any other miscellaneous? Hearing none, motion to adjourn.
No, can I talk
Yep.
here? My name is Heather. I want to address the council over a police report I've waited 6 weeks for. I still do not have it. I have emailed at least all of you. If I've had your email at least once, have retained no responses other than Ryan and Tiffany, and that's because I messaged them on Facebook. What is your policy on police reports? How long does it take? And what is your ordinance on dog leashes? Because I'm being told my kid left the scene of an accident because she hit someone's dog that ran out between two vehicles that was not on a leash. Accident wouldn't have happened had the dog been on the leash. The owner never even contacted my kid, and the police department has never even contacted the owner of the animal.
That's because you're.
Yes, she did turn it in. It was turned into Tiffany. Was the report turned into you, Tiffany?
Yeah, I gave it to the chief.
I also spoke with Mary Weston, who advised me that you stated to her, she did not give you anything. So one of the two of you needs to figure it out. I'm $1,000 in the hole now over my kid's car. Who pays for that? Who's responsible for it? Police didn't do their job. We as citizens did ours.
I would like to disagree. The police didn't do their job. The police did do their job. They responded, plus they wrote a report on the incident. What they did not do was an accident incident. report.
You did not do a report.
That is
Because had
incorrect.
my child been asked for her information would have been correct.
I can tell
You
you.
didn't
there is
just
a
spell her
report.
name correctly, nor were the photos provided of her car. I also requested Sunshine Law 3 weeks ago and got no information. Got an email Friday afternoon while I was at homecoming.
It's
Why
my
does it take 3 weeks?
understanding
I'm not addressing you. I'm not addressing
that- Well,
you.
then tell the truth.
I am telling the truth.
Did you not pick the report up?
I did not pick a report up.
Let's,
Pick a report up.
Let's contain, let's,
That is not an actual report. It wasn't even signed off by you.
excuse me, so
So sunshine request, how long does it take?
let's maintain decorum and.
I'm not addressing the chief. I'm addressing my council.
Chief, if you want to respond after he's done talking, you can respond,
How long does it
But-
take?
but.
As my counsel, what are my options?
So here's the thing, with the committee stuff, this kind of should have been brought up under the police committee.
I wasn't here. I have to
know,
work
I know,
12-hour days.
so, But this is miscellaneous, so I just want to keep the rules of decorum.
That's fine.
So you got about a minute and a half left.
I'm asking them a question and no one can seem to answer it. What is your policy? What is your ordinance on leash laws? Does no one on the council seem to know? Honestly,
I absolutely don't know.
I
No, so when someone strikes an animal, is it not the police department's responsibility to follow up on the accident?
If the dog's hit, I mean, contact needs to be made with the owner of
The owner walked back in his home. Didn't even check on the child.
child. Your child?
Yes, my minor child.
I mean, I can answer that. I'm not an officer of the law.
So why is the report not written? I mean, who is in charge of the police department here, guys? The council, Kelly, the mayor, who is in charge of the police department? Who makes them do their job? Then why isn't it done? You have to understand as a parent where I'm coming from.
Whenever, if she's ready.
Yeah, I'd like to hear from the chief. I mean,
A report was completed. A report was given to Memory under the Sunshine Law request. It was completed. It was investigated as from the officer as leaving the scene of the motor vehicle accident. He attempted to talk to the individual from the report. He attempted to talk to the individual and refused to give information on the identity of the animal, where the animal was located, and where the accident itself was done. I'm telling you.
I'm
what
gonna
the
let you
report said.
finish, but that is not true. She said she did not know the owner, but she could tell him exactly which house it was.
And as for the report, my understanding is you want a STARS report, state traffic accident reporting system. We went through this before with another incident. There is information that is mandated that the officer fills out on that report. In a situation to where they do an informal or an informational report, that is the report itself.
Wouldn't an informative report have correct information?
I wasn't. on
My
scene. I
child,
can't
you
tell
spoke with her stepmother at the school. Yes, you did. You started the report.
I started to.
You started the report at the school with her stepmother. Yes, you did.
Believe you're incorrect.
And then you told her that she was not the driver of the car. Harley needed.
I did that.
Yes, you did. And she
I-
has
I
called
can
you
tell I
several
haven't been to
times
school in
and
6
you
months.
have not returned any phone calls to this woman.
I can tell you I did not.
Okay,
communicate
where are
with
the photos
somebody.
of my kid's car that was taken by the officer and where's the legitimate report? You also have her. You also have her insurance and he never even asked her for her name.
And I can tell you, I did not.
So-
do the report.
This is
So,
pointless.
let me-
Thanks for your time. I'm done. Like, worthless. You're worthless.
Yep, you have your opinion.
Any other miscellaneous?
I would like to point something out on that. Not only was the report given to her, the report was sent to a council member by her. And I got called and said, is this the report? And I advised that council member, yes, it is the report. The report was received, it was sunshine, it was given, it was picked up.
Mike Sherman, I picked up the report. The report had spelling errors on it and was incomplete. That is not a report.
That is a report.
No.
I
It
can
needed
tell
to
you-
have her daughter's name spelled right.
I can tell you that. And if you think any police report is 100% for spelling, I'm sorry you believe.
I
it.
make a motion.
If it's a person's name, it's gotta be.
Talk to your stepmother. I hope you do. That's why the city has a turn. I hope you do. That's why the city has a turn.
Sure, I didn't call.
Are we adjourned?
From this, yes,
Thank you.
going to special meeting. Closed session.
I'm done.
See how you're fine.
Where's my attendance? I mean, that's.
Is she on? That escalated quickly.
What?
So that escalated quickly.
We're not in closed session, right?
No, you have special. Yes.
We at recess for how long?
Bill has a potty, so.
4 minutes.
Billy? Yeah.
What, 4 minutes?
I'll open the door.
Come on, 4 minutes.
I'll open the door.
Hey, Vince, are we muted or are we still recording? Like, we're still recording. Yeah.
I mean, I just trying to wrap my head around it.
So don't, we're still recording, so it's,
Behave.
yeah.
Like, it was my way of saying that.
The way that I understand it, that's what.
So
So there's kind of a narrative and there's a start. So I think
this ain't the only issue with reports. And there's a lot of issues. And if it's a matter of communicating better or having someone answer the phone, in dealing with the public, there's some issues that we can work on, definitely, to improve.
Well, he'll never solve all of them, but keep working at it. And tonight, I think we had some of the best conversations and communication that we've had in quite a while.
I think if somebody wants to call the 8-5. Let's see, police officer. First for somebody, get on the phone, everyone has cell phones,
We usually do.
and say, can you come by City Hall, there's an individual here, let's talk to you. Yeah, they drive down and they talk to them. But I never hear that, all I ever hear is, I went by City Hall and nobody was there, I keep calling down there and nobody give me.
Voicemail's full. Yeah, I hear it all too.
So, as many times as I've seen them recall officers or something.
We've got.
Bye, Kelly, have a good night. Hey, Kelly. How's the train track area coming?
What's that?
How's that train track area coming?
Well, 13 yards concrete on her today.
No, everybody's going.
They will get it open in time?
Usually they
There's somebody.
Read her name plates.
Hopefully we'll get some more.
I didn't even get one. No, I want one.
Thank you. Don't get a nameplate, Dawn, it's a trap. You don't have one either.
I think we have,
Crap, don't get
I
it.
think we've had some good communication.
For the most part, until it went astray, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Waiting on men.
One of the reasons why I'm a very big proponent with a merit-based system. You have a personnel committee that kind of deals with this stuff and interacts with the citizens directly. They can be isolated from the council. I mean, the council still has the final say and utmost authority. But at least that brings that connection from the citizens to the police department. Right now, the only connection with the citizens in the police department is this body. And we have to hear the bad and the good. Not that anything needs to be filtered out, but I think it would lead itself to bonding ties with the community.
There needs to be a more efficient and productive method of communication than what we're doing. I know this is a time for public conversation, but it still comes back to the point of it's hard to have anything constructive when we're all getting hit with something basically for the first time. And I read the emails and I kept up on what was going on, and her question in this particular instance had been answered, not to her sufficient liking. However, like I told her, no, I don't know the ordinance off the top of my head on, that's, if that's a question you have of us, you gotta ask it with enough time to answer.
We want to sit here and argue with the audience. Anytime you look at any larger city at a council meeting and they open it up to the audience, they say, Mr. Bill Cyrus, you've got 5 minutes. You get up and you read and you say what you're doing, your time's up, you turn around, you go sit down. They don't question them and start talking about, well, we understand about that. They want to argue. That's where we waste too much time. Well, I'm like that.
No, we're still special meeting, not closed.
City of Louisiana, Missouri special council meeting, Monday, October the 10th, 2022. Call this meeting to order. First item is who called for the special meeting?
I did. Yeah, I did.
I believe I did as well.
Yep.
Okay, you got that memory?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll ask the council to forego the traditional, well, let's go ahead and do the pledge of allegiance. You want to do it again?
Want me to call order first?
All right, Dick.
I got it, sorry.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Memory, would you please, take the roll call, please?
Sedar.
Here.
Evans. Here. Cardinal.
Here,
Hiltner.
Here.
Go. Mr. Roberts.
Here.
Gobert.
Here.
House.
Here. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. There's only one correction that I pointed out, and then Lindy pointed out, just remove in the executive session, remove that Officer Penrod filed a complaint
Verbally.
and just change that to made a verbal complaint.
Which meeting was that?
Is
That
the-
1 or 8?
I'd have to double check. I don't have. the
August
minutes.
1st. I think it was August 1st.
August the 1st.
I make a motion to approve the minutes with the amendment to the August 1st meeting. As stated.
Do we want to approve all of them at once, or do we want to do them?
We're just, I believe right now, just
Okay.
fixing the one.
I'll second that. then.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, like sign. Okay. I don't have any issues unless council has any issues doing a slate of approval of the minutes from 6/27 to 9/16.
I'm okay with that.
Do we want to include the two, the 26th?
There is a change in that. They need to be made.
Okay,
So I'm entertaining a motion as a slate to approve the minutes from June 27th, 2022 to September 16th.
So moved.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, like sign, motion carries. September 26th, the only one I found that needed to be changed is the Highway 54 Coalition meeting, that's the 20th instead of the 10th.
Okay.
If anyone wants to make a motion to,
I make a motion to approve the September 26th meeting with the amendment to the date of the Highway 54 coalition meeting.
second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, like sign. Okay. Entertain a motion for consideration to go into closed session for the purpose of the revised Missouri statute section 610.021,
I make the motion, sorry,
subsections 1 and 3.
I make the motion to go into closed session to revise Missouri statutes, section 610.031, section 1 and 3.
Allowing who?
Allowing the mayor, the chief, and Henry Gonzalez, the city attorney, Wendy Rodmaker, and Greg Gorman to stay.
We have a motion on the floor.
Second.
Got a second, any discussion? Hearing none, take the roll call, please.
Mr. Sedar.
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
yes.
Cardinal.
Yes.
Hiltner.
Yeah.
Go. Mr. Roberts.
Yes.
Gobert.
Yes.
Mr. House.
Chief, can you make sure that we'll open this door, make sure the hallways are clear?
Yes.
Listen, Ryan, if you would, please, can we just open that door?
Oh, sure.
They're clear.
Well, we're back in open.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
A motion to adjourn, first and second, any discussion, hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries.
Hi, Bill.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Absolutely freaking inappropriate.